Good morning and welcome to the Public Service Commission. It is Tuesday, November 5th, 2025 at approximately 10 a.m. and we are here today in docket number 2025-5G, the annual review of purchase gas adjustment and gas purchasing policies of Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated. First, all commissioners are present in the hearing room. Secondly, I have to apologize. We are having some problems with our live stream. We will not be able to live stream this hearing, but to avoid delay, we are able to record the hearing and we'll be able to post it after some time once it's prepared. And there will be a transcript. So we have the backup and did not want to wait any longer because we have not been able to find a solution. The problem is not here at the office. It's the system that we go through. Anyway, having said all that, Ms. Western Hill, would you please explain this docket before we go any further?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, and thank you for all who are in attendance today. As the Chairman mentioned, this is a proceeding in docket number 2025-5G. It does concern the annual review of the purchase gas adjustment and gas purchasing policies of Dominion South Carolina Incorporated. This hearing was scheduled and noticed by the clerk's office to be held today, November 5th, and beginning at 10 a.m. I was checking to make sure it was November 5th, sorry. Mr. Chairman, upon inquiries of all participating counsel of record, the parties of record are present through their legal counsel and are available upon your call for appearances. There was one preliminary matter to address. Commissioners and party, the docket is ready to proceed.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Western Hill. Now for appearances, counsel, would you please introduce yourselves for the record?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the Commission. I'm Elizabeth Hutton, in-house counsel for Dominion Energy South Carolina, representing the company along with Chad Burgess.
Thank you very much. Office of Regulatory Staff.
Good morning, Chair Powers, members of the Commission. Donna Rainey on behalf of Office of Regulatory Staff, and here with me today is Chad Torrey.
All right. Well, we have two Chads today. Before we begin any testimony or go any further, as you've heard, we have a settlement agreement. Who will be presenting that agreement?
I will present
Thank you,
it.
Ms. Rainey. Go
Thank
ahead.
Again, good morning, Chair Powers, Vice Chair Williams, and members of the Commission. On November 4th, 2025, Office of Regulatory Staff filed a settlement agreement and two attachments, attachment 1 and 2, with this Commission in this docket, which included an executed settlement, which was an executed settlement agreement between the South Carolina Office of Regulatory Staff and Dominion Energy South Carolina. In good faith and in the spirit of compromise, parties engaged in negotiations, which resulted in the settlement agreement that has been filed in this docket that resolves all issues in this matter. ORS believes the approval of the settlement agreement is in the public interest and asks the Commission to approve the settlement agreement as presented. At this time, ORS moves the settlement agreement and two attachment into the record of this case.
All right. The settlement agreement, along with attachments, are identified and placed in the record as exhibit number 1.
Thank you.
I would like to ask just a couple of questions before we get into testimony of the company. It'll be the same question for both parties. Did both parties feel they had sufficient time to consider this agreement and to work through it?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have.
Did ORS, through the company, have access to all necessary information to come to their conclusion to enter this agreement?
I believe they did.
All right. And do you feel it's in the best interest of the consuming public?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. Thank you. ORS, the same questions. Do you feel you had sufficient time to consider and access to the necessary information to enter into this agreement?
Yes, Chair Powers.
All right. And you feel it's in the best interest of the consuming public.
Yes, Chair.
All right. Thank you very much, and thank you for the hard work to reach this agreement. The company can now proceed, if you would.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dominion Energy calls Sean Randall, Darren Call, and Jatan Smith to come forward at this time.
If you would all raise your right hands, please. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Mr. Randall, please state your full name for the record.
Michael Sean Randall,
By whom are you employed and in what capacity?
Dominion Energy, South Carolina, and I'm the Vice President of Gas Distribution and Customer Solutions.
Did you prepare or cause to be prepared and pre-filed in this docket direct testimony consisting of 26 pages?
Yes, I did.
Are there any changes or corrections you would like to make to your direct testimony?
No changes.
If I asked you all the questions contained in your pre-filed direct testimony, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, we would move into the record the pre-filed direct testimony of Mr. Randall as if given orally from the stand.
The pre-filed direct testimony, Mr. Randall, will be entered in the record as if given orally from the stand.
Mr. Randall, do you have any exhibits attached to your direct testimony?
I do, too.
Are there any changes or corrections that you would like to make to the exhibits?
No, there are not.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, we would move into the record the exhibits attached to Mr. Randall's direct testimony, identified as MSR1, MSR2, and MSR3, and MSR4.
All right. The exhibits identified, the exhibits of Mr. Randall identified as MSR 1 through 4 are placed of identification and are entered in the record as exhibit number 2.
Thank you. Turning to Mr. Call. Mr. Call, please state your full name for the record.
James Darren Call,
By whom are you employed and in what capacity?
Dominion Energy Services as the manager of gas supply.
Did you prepare or cause to be prepared and pre-filed in this docket direct testimony consisting of 16 pages?
Yes, I did.
Are there any changes or corrections that you would like to make to your pre-filed direct testimony?
Yes, I have one correction on page 11, line 11. Starts with 2025, comma, effective. After the word effective, insert the word date. So it should read 2025, comma, effective date.
With that correction, if I asked you all the questions contained in your pre-filed direct testimony, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, we would move into the record the pre-filed direct testimony of Mr. Call as corrected, as if given orally from the stand.
The pre-filed direct testimony as corrected of Mr. Call will be entered in the record as if given orally from the stand.
Mr. Call, do you have any exhibits attached to your direct testimony?
Yes, I do.
Are there any changes or corrections that you would like to make to the exhibits attached?
No, not this time.
Mr. Chairman, we move into the record the exhibits attached to Mr. Call's direct testimony, identified as JDK1 and JDK2.
The exhibits of Mr. Call identified as JDK1 and JDK2 will be entered into the record as exhibit number 3.
Thank you. Turning to Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith, please state your full name for the record.
Jatan R. Smith.
By whom are you employed and in what capacity?
By Dominion Energy Services as the manager of regulation.
Did you prepare or cause to be prepared and pre-filed in this docket direct testimony consisting of 12 pages?
Yes, I did.
Are there any changes or corrections that you would like to make to your pre-filed direct testimony?
No, there are not.
If I asked you all the questions containing your pre-filed direct testimony, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they will.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, we would move into the record the pre-filed direct testimony of Mrs. Smith as if given orally from the stand.
The pre-filed direct testimony of Ms. Smith will be entered in the record as if given orally from the stand.
Mrs. Smith, do you have any exhibits attached to your direct testimony?
Yes, I do.
Are there any changes or corrections that you would like to make to the exhibits attached to your direct testimony?
No, there are not.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, we would move into the record the exhibits attached to Mrs. Smith's direct testimony, identified as JRS-1, JRS-2, and JRS-3.
The exhibits of Ms. Smith identified as JSR1, JSR2, and JSR3 will be entered into the record as exhibit number 4.
Mrs. Smith, did you prepare or cause to be prepared and pre-filed in this docket rebuttal testimony consisting of 5 pages?
Yes, I did.
Are there any changes or corrections that you would like to make to your rebuttal testimony?
No, there are not.
If I asked you all the questions contained in your pre-filed rebuttal testimony, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they will.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, we would move into the record the pre-filed rebuttal testimony of Mrs. Smith as if given orally from the stand.
The pre-filed rebuttal testimony of Ms. Smith will be entered into the record as if given orally from the stand.
Thank you. Mrs. Smith, subsequent to the filing of your rebuttal testimony, did the company enter into a settlement agreement that was filed with the commission yesterday?
Yes, we did.
And I believe the settlement agreement designates you as a settlement witness. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Have you prepared a summary of the settlement agreement?
Yes, I have.
Would you please deliver that at this time?
Good morning, Chairman Powers and members of the Commission. After the filing of rebuttal and surrebuttal testimony in this docket, the Office of Regulatory Staff and the company engaged in discussions to determine whether a settlement could be reached regarding our outstanding issues. I'm pleased to report that DESC has entered into a settlement agreement with ORS. Under the settlement agreement, I have been designated as the settlement witness and will be happy to answer any questions that you may have about the settlement agreement. The stipulated terms of the settlement agreement are as follows. Number 1, for the purpose of setting the gas cost recovery factors, ORS and the company accept the calculations of the purchase gas adjustment under collection for the review period, which is attached to the settlement agreement as exhibit number 1. Number 2, the parties agree that the company may apply carrying costs to over or under collection balances of $20 million or less. If, however, the over or under collection amount totals more than $20 million, then the company will not apply carrying costs on any incremental amount exceeding $20 million. Number 3, the parties agree that the company will file a gas capacity update in a similar format as presented in company witness Randall's direct testimony with the Commission and ORS by March 30th, 2026. The company will also provide an update on the company's capacity reserves as part of its direct testimony in subsequent PGA proceedings. Number 4, ORS agrees to the modification of the PGA calculation method to calculate over and under collection balance amounts by rate instead of revenue class. No residential customers will be impacted by this modification. Number 5, the company agrees to continue providing ORS with monthly reports related to prudence, support, and uncollectible amounts, as well as monthly audit work papers consistent with the monthly reports and work papers historically provided to ORS. This concludes my summary of the settlement agreement.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. Mr. Chairman, the panel is available for questions from the Commission. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And there's an agreement there would not be cross-examination. All right,
That
thank
is
you.
correct.
Any commissioner questions? Commissioner Belser. All right, on our list of exhibits, it's JRS, not JSR for Ms. Smith's exhibits. I want to correct that. Any commissioner questions?
Mr.
Commissioner
Chairman.
Belser.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you all for being here this morning. Mr. Randall, I just had a couple of questions about the capacity update in your testimony. I know that's not directly addressed in this settlement, but has there been any opinion issued from the Supreme Court yet on the pipeline appeal to serve the Myrtle Beach area?
No, there has not. Typically, they issue their opinions on Wednesday, and I checked this morning. We haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah, I
So-
get those emails, but I hadn't
Yeah.
seen anything either. So.
Yeah, no updates.
Okay. With regard to the Kinder Morgan process, I believe in your testimony you indicated that the Kinder Morgan line would follow existing right-of-way as much as possible through to get to the Kennedy's site. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Colleton County is paralleling essentially Santee Cooper's existing electric transmission corridor almost the whole way through Colleton County.
Okay, so it's not necessarily gas
Correct.
right-of-way. It might be electric right-of-way.
It is not paralleling the gas right-of-ways. It's paralleling existing electric transmission infrastructure.
Okay, and that's allowed. There's no issue putting a gas pipeline in electric transmission right-of-way.
Yes, it's allowed. We have a number of our gas pipelines that operate within our electric transmission corridors.
Okay,
Very common.
I was looking at your exhibit, and I couldn't tell where it doesn't parallel existing right-of-way on that map.
Yeah, so as you get into, Colleton County is almost 100%. There'll be deviations to avoid obstacles as they go to individual properties. But when you get into Hampton County, particularly as it gets west of Estill, there's no electric transmission owned by Santee Cooper heading that way because that's going to the Georgia state line. So most of that's going to be new right away.
Okay.
And all that's subject to their right of way acquisition process.
There being Santee Cooper's.
There being Kinder Morgan.
Kinder Morgan.
Right.
Okay.
So as they continue,
Makes
they
sense.
continue their route study, it may vary slightly from the path that's shown on that drawing.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Belcher. Any further commissioner questions? Commissioner Thomas.
Thank you. Good morning. I just have one question. So, settlement item number 5, and it talks about the over-under collection amounts calculated by rate instead of revenue class. Could you just talk about that a little bit and just give me a little bit of an overview on how that is different and the impact, please?
So currently under our current over and under collection calculation, and this goes back to 2006 when our current PGA recovery mechanism was initially approved. Under that over and under calculation, we utilize a report from our customer information system team. So the CIS team provides a report each month that identifies the consumption amounts as well as the revenue dollars by rate and by class. Currently, we pick up the totals by class from that report. So whether it's residential, commercial, or industrial, we currently pick up the totals by class. We have identified that within those class totals, you may have rates that for regulatory purposes are not considered or not classified as that particular designation. For example, and this does not impact residential, it only impacts our industrial and our commercial classes. And so one example would be for accounting purposes, a rate 20 is considered to be a commercial class. Excuse me, let me back up. For accounting purposes, class 20 is considered to be a commercial class. That class may include on the report that we utilize to calculate the over-under collection balances, it may have a rate 34 included in that class. However, for regulatory purposes, a rate 34 is considered to be an industrial rate. And so we have identified the need to calculate our over and under collection balances by rate instead of by class to ensure accuracy, more accuracy within those calculations.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Commissioner Cass.
I'm gonna make sure I understand that, drill a little bit deeper. On a more granular level, then, you're looking at the, I guess, more specific rate classes where you have residential rate, whatever that is, and not such that if you look at just the broader revenue, as you said, it incorporates more than that rate for a residential or for this medium commercial or whatever. Is that correct?
So this change does not impact residential at all. So the residential class includes only residential rates. So this change would not impact residential. What it does impact is the commercial and industrial rates. So that's going to be your small, medium, and large general service rates. And the kind of underlying factor here is for our rates, all businesses have a SIC code, standard industry classification code, and that SIC code is what drives the class that the customer's rate ends up on in the CIS report that we utilize for the calculation. And so by using the rate for the calculation instead of the class, that will ensure that the correct cost of gas revenue is being assigned to the commercial and the industrial rates in our calculation.
Yeah, I read that in your testimony, and I thought I followed it, but thank you very much. Okay. And I guess, Mr. Randall, I suspect these would be more for you. Commissioner Belcher asked you about the Supreme Court case. And I was thinking in terms of, I think temporary mobile LNG and the CNG peaking facilities. And as you said in your testimony, it's not novel or unusual. Does that method increase the risk of maybe shortages or outages?
It's certainly not ideal. We want to get back to a position where we're being served by a firm pipeline. Hence the reason for the River Neck Road project and other supplemental projects. However, this is reliable in the sense that we've got LNG supplies at Bushy Park. We've got a lot of experience trucking LNG because we truck LNG annually from Bushy Park to Phil Sally as well. And we've got a good bit of experience now vaporizing at these mobile LNG sites. So it's not ideal, but it is proved to be effective to get us through this crunch until we can get a pipeline built.
I don't know if you can answer this, but I was thinking in terms of maybe cost to customers. Is this current method more expensive than the construction of the new line?
Certainly, yes, sir. So, first of all, you consider the weighted average cost of gas, the WACOG in the tank is higher than pipeline gas rates, and then you got to add on the fact that we're trucking that gas up to Myrtle Beach, and we're paying for temporary vaporization sites as well too. So you add all that additional cost on this expensive gas. So it'd be much more cost effective to serve them with pipeline capacity in the future.
I understand. And thinking about the transmission and distribution upgrades, beyond what you testified to meet those, I guess, duration curves through 2036 is that covered through 2036? Do you feel comfortable with what is planned?
Do we have an adequate plan to cover us through then?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I feel like
I should have said it that way.
Yes, sir. I feel like we've got a good plan in place.
Spoken like a Clemson man. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Cass. Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Chair Powers. Good morning. One question, I think it's for Ms. Smith. The $20 million, how is that defined in terms of evaluating under and over and the carrying capacity? How did you pick $20 million? Is it statutory? Is it in an order?
So the $20 million is currently identified in our PGA tariff. So that provides the guidance for our over and under calculations and how we apply cost of gas revenues. And so the $20 million was initially introduced in a settlement agreement between the company and the ORS in the 2006 PGA proceeding. And so since that $20 million is included in our current PGA tariff, and the issue currently is that the carrying cost switch gets turned off completely at $20 million, but up to $20 million. Right. We are able to calculate carrying costs currently, but the switch gets turned off completely once that cumulative balance is over $20 million. And so the basis for that $20 million originated from the 2006 PGA proceeding and the settlement agreement in that proceeding.
Okay. I don't think I can ask you a question given that answer, but my thought was just $20 million in 2006 is very different than $20 million today. Is that a factor that you all are kind of evaluating and thinking about?
It is. I guess maybe to kind of quantify this a little bit for you. So in our RSA proceeding for this year, DESC's cost of gas expense was $292 million. Mm-hmm. So 20% of that, $20 million of that is approximately 7%. Mm-hmm. And so just looking over the years at the company's cost of gas expense, there are some years when it's been a little higher, some years where it's been slightly lower, but that's all dependent on what your NYMEX prices are, what your demand contracts are. And so while that cost of gas expense has fluctuated over the years, it hasn't fluctuated to the point of the company identifying a need to change that amount at this point.
Does growth in South Carolina end up influencing that ratio? Because of demand?
It does influence that ratio. One interesting, item that we did find when just looking at historical data is back in some of the earlier years when the PGA mechanism was initially approved, the current mechanism, the cost of gas expense was higher where we had less customers. And the main driver for that was gas prices were higher at that time than what we're currently seeing.
Thank you. All of that helps me to kind of understand and put it in my brain in a place. So I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Mr. Randall, I think it was in your testimony that just talked about the, and you don't need to go there, but page 16 through 18, talking about the construction activities. And I just wondered if there are any updates that would be informative to us on any of those three projects.
I'll have to remember which.
So Mississippi Crossing South System Expansion and the Bridge Project.
All right. So they're all three in different phases. The Bridge Project, which is in South Carolina, they literally just within the last 2 months started reaching out to property owners to get survey rights and to start kind of nailing down the right of way. Mississippi Crossing and South System Expansion 4 are both in existing gas pipeline corridors. They've already started that well underway with the right-of-way acquisition process, but no construction started on either one of those yet. So they're still in the early permitting right-of-way acquisition phases. Then they'll have to go to FERC to get authorization before they can start construction. So all of them are still in the planning and starting up phases.
Okay. And Mr. Call, in your direct testimony, you show a reserve of 0.21% for 2027 to 2028. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
Go ahead.
So we are currently, we are working with the pipelines right now to increase the capacity, and we're actually working hopefully to close on a transaction here shortly to increase the capacity starting this winter and for the next 3 years. So that'll address that, increase that reserve margin. So we're still working with the folks. We haven't executed the document yet, but we anticipate that we'll be able to acquire that additional capacity to increase that reserve margin number.
And are you expecting to finalize that before this winter?
We're in the final stages. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, we
Okay.
can
Okay.
execute that document.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Any further commissioner questions? Hearing none. Is there any cross or any redirect rather?
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, you may step down. That's up to them. You have another witness.
No, sir, we do not. That closes our case. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anything from the Office of Regulatory Staff?
Nothing from or us about that panel.
All right. Well, thank you all for your hard
No.
work.
About that panel.
She said.
I thought you were asking about if we had
Okay.
any questions or anything. Okay. Oris does have a panel. Should I call mine? Okay.
All right. I'm sorry.
Office of Regulatory Staff calls to the stand Michael Seaman Wynn, Kiba Kemp, and Courtney Radley.
If you would raise your right hands, please. Do you solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Good morning. I'll start with you, Ms. Radley. Could you please state your full name for the record?
My name is Courtney Radley.
Ms. Radley, who are you employed and in what capacity?
I'm employed by the state of South Carolina as an audit manager for the Office of Regulatory Staff.
Did you prepare or cause to be prepared 8 pages of direct testimony pre-filed in this docket on October 14th, 2025?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any changes or corrections to that pre-filed direct testimony?
No, I do not.
And if I were to ask you the same questions as those posed in your pre-filed direct testimony, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
Chair Powers, Oris moves that the pre-filed direct testimony of Ms. Radley be entered into the record as if given orally from the stand.
The pre-filed direct testimony, Ms. Radley, will be entered in the record as if given orally from the stand.
And Ms. Radley, did you also prepare or cause to be prepared 3 exhibits marked as exhibits CDR1 through CDR3 with your pre-filed direct testimony?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any changes or corrections to those exhibits?
No, I do not.
Chair Powers, Oris asks that the exhibits, Ms. Radley's exhibits CDR1 through CDR3 be entered into the record as the next hearing exhibit.
The pre-filed direct exhibits of Ms. Radley identified as CDR1 through CDR3 are marked for identification and placed in the record as exhibit number 5.
Thank you. Ms. Radley, did you also prepare or cause to be prepared 4 pages of sir rebuttal testimony in this docket filed on October 28th, 2025?
Yes, I did.
And do you have any changes or corrections to your sir rebuttal testimony?
No, I do not.
And if I were to ask you the same questions as those posed in your pre-filed rebuttal testimony today, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
Chair Powers, ORS moves that the pre-filed rebuttal testimony of Ms. Radley be entered into the record as if given orally from the stand.
The pre-filed surrebuttal testimony of Ms. Radley will be entered in the record as if given orally from the stand.
Okay. Mr. Seaman Wynn, please state your name for the record.
Michael Seaman Wynn.
By whom are you employed and in what capacity?
I'm employed by the Office of Regulatory Staff as the Deputy Director of Energy Operations.
Mr. Seaman Wynn, did you prepare or cause to be prepared 6 pages of pre-filed direct testimony in this docket on October 14th, 2025?
Yes.
Do you have any corrections or changes to your pre-filed direct testimony?
No, I do not.
And if I were to ask you the same questions as those posed in your pre-filed direct testimony today, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
Chair Powers, ORS moves that the pre-filed direct testimony of Mr. Seaman Wynn be entered into the record as if given orally from the stand.
The pre-filed direct testimony of Mr. Seaman Wynn will be entered in the record as if given orally from the stand.
And Ms. Kemp, please state your name for the record.
Kiba Kemp.
By who are you employed and in what capacity?
I'm employed by the Office of Regulatory Staff as a regulatory analyst.
Are you the same Kiba Kemp that pre-filed calls to be pre-filed 10 pages of direct testimony in this docket on October 14th, 2025?
Yes.
Do you have any changes or corrections to that pre-filed testimony?
I do not.
And if I were to ask you the same questions as those posed in your pre-filed direct testimony today, would your answers be the same?
Yes.
Chair Powers, ORS moves that the pre-filed direct testimony of Ms. Kemp be entered into the record as if given orally from the stand.
The pre-filed direct testimony of Ms. Kemp will be entered into the record as if given orally from the stand.
Chair Powers, this panel is available to answer commissioner questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And cross-examination is waived of these witnesses as well. All right, commissioner questions. Commissioner Belson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Seaman Wynn, in your testimony, you had a recommendation that Dominion provide a report on capacity, I believe it was, similar to what had been filed previously.
Not a report, but an update.
Update?
Yes, ma'am, in the same fashion as company witness Randall's update in his direct testimony.
Okay, is that covered by the settlement agreement? I thought there was a provision about providing
Yes, ma'am, it is.
documentation. So that update that you're requesting is covered in the settlement agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
And the company's agreed to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Belser. Commissioner Williams. Did you have questions?
Thank you, Chair Powers. Are you in my head? Mr. Seaman Wynn, my questions are really about the kind of the reserve margin, and does ORS believe there's any other action that needs to be taken in that regard? The reserve margins reducing.
Well, ORS has been reviewing the company's reserve margin for a number of years, and we have seen that reserve decline, and is part of the 2023 rate case. We addressed, brought forward our concerns of that, and as part of the settlement agreement and the commission order in that case, the company did provide a gas capacity plan. Mm-hmm. That plan was filed with the commission and with ORS in October of 2024 as part of, in compliance with an order from the rate case. We've been reviewing that plan and reviewing the company's reserves since then, and we feel that we keep an eye on it. We are looking at the company's reserves on a regular basis. And I have recommendations in my testimony that provide updates to the commission on special projects that have been going on as addressed, not special projects, but projects that have been going on to address certain reserves. Those are part of witness Randall's testimony. The company has agreed to provide updates to those. And as you just heard from witness call, the company is taking additional steps to try to bring on additional capacity to improve those reserves from where they are.
Thank you. I appreciate the summary. It's helpful with pages and pages of information as well as over time to kind of hear it all in one place. So thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Any further commissioner questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. Is any redirect?
No redirect, and that concludes Oris's case in this matter.
Okay, you may step down. Is there anything further from either party at this time? All right, well, thank you very much for your presentations. Enjoy the rest of your day. We will be adjourned. Thank you.